Hi friends, this is Angie, Angela Paradisney. Um, I was on a live stream briefly with Andy Devine this morning, 8 a.m. our time. I was just awake making coffee, and shared with him that, like himself, Neely Berry, Matt Taylor, Kaylee rather, and many others, my Hotmail has been hacked, and well, I don't know if it's hacked, I'm not technical, but it's been flooded with dodgy emails. And so I'm just going to document that as evidence, and then I will publish a two-part video document of what you call it, an entrapment attempt. So somebody contacted me in Facebook Messenger and said, oh, stand by, Intel drop or something crazy. And then dissed Heather Brown, and it may well have been Heather Brown trying to entrap me into bad-mouthing her. And for the most part, I said that I was very fond of her. I believed her testimony, and I was sickened if indeed she had been sent in as a Hampstead entrapment agent. So the end of I made a video and shared it with a select few, just because, you know, together we're stronger. And then the exchange ended with, oh, I told you a load of lies, you know, go away. And it was hilarious being told to go away because I was the one that was approached. But anyway, I'm gonna make that public. But this is just briefly. Sorry, Andy, I didn't want to come on camera at 8 o'clock in the morning with my first cup of coffee. This is women's vanity. Vanity, thy name is woman, as my Irish granny used to say. But anyway, let's just go and demonstrate that this. Right, we have to go share screen. Share. Done. The colour scheme, whatever that is about. And then mail. So here we go. 888 emails. So this is the kind AGP-CDCH-faculty request, blah, 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 blah. Some of them, the tweeters. Mailing list subscription. Yeah, see, one of the things this person did that was messaging me said that Karen Irving was Scorpion-like and was planning a spectacular in retaliation as pushback for all the exposing that's gone on of her. So this seems to be it, that she's instructed GCHQ or whoever to do this mass hacking of activists' email accounts and try and frame them up for porn or whatever, or just subscribe them to hundreds of dodgy websites. It's still, the notifications are still coming through, so that we either have to manually go through and unsubscribe from everyone, or, you know, in my case, perhaps contact my military tech assistant and pay him 50 quid to, you know, identify the source, which I think has already been done by people working with Andy Devine. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm happy to come in on a mass action, class action against these people. But ultimately, it might be God that has to deal with them, and that will be very hot and sad. So yeah, so let's just scroll through a few, and then I actually participate in see, they're coming through all the time. I participate in a Microsoft spam program, so I might just report them all as phishing attempts, and then they will be dealt with, you know. But either way, you know, it's pathetic. So RX faculty, POMS request, our staff request, web services request. They're still piling in APOL TOCC, POMS request. This was Karen Irving's spectacular to just hack activists and campaigners' emails like that. You know, compared to other things she's done, is a bit lame. it's inconvenient, but there's so many of us, you know, that instead of staying quiet, as Andy said, we just all network and realize this is her latest. You know, she tried she tried a kickback by doing a show with Mel V. Used to be my boss, alleged boss, when I was broadcasting on her platform and paying a couple of $100 a month for the privilege. I think she had 2,000 out of me before I quit. And you know, I don't know if she was adopted or just was in a horrendous family. She's alleged that possibly her family was an SRA family. She cut contact. Well, in actual fact, she did a green card marriage to Biggie, and I have proof of this. Her husband, they were in the Netherlands, and then they had to leave there because I think they didn't pay their rent, or they got ran out by the landlord, or she blamed Hampstead, funnily enough, for them being run out of Denmark or the Netherlands, Copenhagen, wherever it was. And now Buddy's up. This is so much a sign of a damaged person. She was so desperate to have Hampstead like her that she just took whatever abuse they wanted to pile on top of her. You know, allegedly lose her and Biggie their home and their business and their reputation and their standing. And now she's making shows with her saying, oh, well, we can unite in the common cause of, you know, disavowing ritual abuse survivors or campaigners that speak up for them. So, you know, this is Mel V, you know, who advocates for the age of consent to be reduced at least to 13, based on a story of school friends of hers that were genuinely in love. Anyway, like, I digress. So look, I'm just giving evidence because, you know, if I didn't know how to pray and network, given that I'm under alleged investigation by the Irish police on foot of a complaint by Ricky Dearman, you know, of harassment, this could be quite serious, and I probably will let the detective sergeant know about this, you know. So if and when my computers ever go to get analysed, because I'm not considered a priority threat to anybody, but if they do, you know, that's another angle whereby this hack can be tracked down and dealt with, you know, or not. Here we go, I'm just giving you, it's just happened to me today. I think it happened to Andy a few days ago. Matt Taylor, it's happened to Kaylee. No, yeah, subscribe to me to this list. This is the kind of thing Heather might do all night if she was angry enough, sadly. Might be Heather, might be Shiva, could be Karen, you know, who's supposedly, you know, on a break along with Ricky. and just too obsessed to leave it alone, so would spend, you know, or it could be bots. Who cares? What sick people. So this is just for the guards, really, and for evidence for those that have already identified these emails as emanating from 3 locations. I think one was Wales, which is likely Giant Solace. One was Fife, which could be Flow Destroyer, or could be you know, this latest name, who was emailing me actually ever since Andy blocked her, Mandy Blackwood or whatever, claiming to be an advocate for Carol Woods, and she might be. But since Andy blocked her, she somehow has my email address. I don't know how, but it's not too hard. And emailed me saying, oh, you know, do you know this about Andy? And do you know this about John Winnow? And do you know this about, you know, and I don't want Carol Woods supporters being, you know, scammed. And I took her as genuine. I take everybody at face value at first. So I took her as genuine. I just reassured her that Andy's not a scammer. John Winnow is not a scammer. And like, you know, the £25 shares, you know, a few of us tipped in when John Winnow was traveling in England and he was traveling on peanuts. And a few of us would have given 20 quid, you know, happily, because the guy was just so genuine and courageous, and so in a way, I think maybe a couple of grand was raised between maybe 30 of us or 40 of us, I don't know. You know, Andrew Devine was very generous, but his inheritance lump sum was running out fast, given that 20 grand of it had been swallowed up by Gordon Bowden, supposedly with great returns anticipated. It wasn't just a donation, trust me. It was an investment which Gordon Bowden said would pay great dividends. So I'm very disappointed in Gordon, very. I think he's discredited all his evidence. His 18 years of forensic evidence, I think, has been discredited. And if the way he has made allegations against Andy Devine and John Winoa, if that's the basis of his forensic research, you know, you're just throwing your whole superb lifetime's work into disrepute, Gordon. You really are. I don't know if you even watch my videos. I don't know. Anyway, that's nice. By the by. So anyway, this Mandy one went back and forth with me and said, oh, you know, I don't know why Andy blocked me. You know, and I'm just trying to do the right thing for Carol, and, you know, did you know this and did you know that? So I reassured her, and then I got hacked. So who knows? You know, she's supposed to be up in Fife area, so I think Flow Destroyer was located there at one point. And I had some more info coming on Mike Dice or whoever he is, so I must share that at some point. But and there was one other location. It was Wales, Fife, and I can't remember the third one, but I'm sure the good techs will get to the bottom of it. So what I'm going to do is just do this, just to confirm that these are all student affairs, Temmer and Deathful, Deauville. I'm going to confirm all these subscriptions, which could have been a bot, you know, if we've all got the same ones. It could be a bot attack, you know, which just is more indicative of GCHQ involvement. AVM request, packages request, on-call list. But this is the kind of thing that Heather has boasted to me in the past that she's quite good at. So I'm going to go ahead and make public the two parts of the messaging entrapment attempt. You know, allegedly somebody with a grudge against Heather, but could equally have been Heather. Mailman confirm. So instead of going through these manually, all 912 now, I'll just report them all as phishing and leave it to the spam program that I participate in, and let them do, you know, put another bot on the bot and see what's going on. This is quite pathetic. They're still piling in. Postcard confirm. Spolian's request. I must deval. That's in deval research request. Yeah, quite pathetic. So this is clearly what they've done. I won't waste any more of your time, and I will now make a second part of the message thread where it was an entrapment attempt. It started off saying, oh, I used to troll you and I regret it. And, you know, I used to be quite close to the inner circle of Hampstead, being Karen Irving, Shiva Burton and Heather Brown. You know, but now I'm being attacked by Heather, and I think she sent porn to my email. And warning me, and actually the other bizarre thing, which made me think it might be Stephen Keyes or his wife, was the one assertion as well was Stephen Keyes is innocent. So whatever, they're infighting, they're panicking, and they're doing silly bugger activity, you know, and I just pray in Jesus' name that, well, I know they will be dealt with for eternity, but it would be nice to see them come to justice in this lifetime as well. Because aside from this craziness, you know, which is allegedly Karen Irving having a hissy fit and wanting some revenge for all the exposing that's been going on, this is her little October spectacular. So just remember to stay safe, people. Pray, stay prayed up, put on the full armor of God. Let's just say that now. Oh, my poor chair. Yeah, because this is a satanic, time of the year. But Jesus said, what is it? In this world you will have trials and tribulations, but cheer up, I've overcome the world. So I'm just going to end this with, a good prayer for everybody to pray daily, especially around this time of year where it's not about kiddies dressing up and looking cute and getting candy. It's about ritual sacrifices, animals, children, curses, and people of the dark, people of the night. I did a lot of research. I don't mean to get on a preachy thing here, but I did a lot of research on Halloween when my children were growing up. And, it was originally Druidic. And if a family hadn't paid their taxes to the Druids in the locality, they could call to the house and say trick or treat. So it was either that you would pay your taxes, 10% of whatever poverty you could gather together, a few vegetables or whatever it was you lived on. You either pay your taxes or you handed over your firstborn son. And then they would have a bonfire, and sacrifice the firstborn sons of the poor. And the pumpkin was lit and placed in the window because it was rumored that once the firstborn sons had been through horrendous burning ritual death, the broken-hearted mothers would place a light in a pumpkin to draw the spirit of their murdered child back home. So maybe the pumpkin's not such a bad thing, but it was to guide the spirit of their murdered children, their murdered firstborns home, who had been taken as payment for taxes not being handed over to the Druids. So there's a lot of darkness around this festival, but let's just finish this briefly with it's not against flesh and blood we wrestle, but this is all from the scriptures, you can look it up. It's not against flesh and blood we wrestle, it's against powers and principalities and rulers of this present darkness and spiritual wickedness in dark places. We therefore take authority over vain imaginations and cast down every thought which would exalt itself against the knowledge of God and his perfect plan and purpose for our lives. We therefore put on the full armor of God, the helmet of salvation that guards our mind, the breastplate of righteousness that guards our heart. We put on the belt of truth girt around our loins. Truth, that's what kills them. That's what defeats them. We especially take up the shield of faith that quenches every fiery dart of the enemy. And this is just a fiery dart of the enemy, this attack. It's just the latest one. So we take up the shield of faith that quenches every fiery dart of the enemy, and the sword of the Spirit, which is every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. And we put on the shoes shod, ready to go forth with the gospel of peace. In Jesus' name. So yeah, this is a distraction, people. Just put the fire out and move on to the higher calling, which is to keep evil at bay, expose evil, shine a light on it, and protect the vulnerable, especially the children. Stop share. And please God, I'll get another couple of videos out today. I think I twisted my ankle yesterday and I woke up thinking it's broken. It's the same ankle that was broken in May 2018. And I was thinking, oh my God, I was walking the dog, stood on some litter and just wobbled on that same ankle. And I thought it was sprained. I think it is sprained. I don't think it's re-broken. But do you know the way if you're not prayed up, you can wake up with the horrors like, oh my God, my email's hacked with porn and my ankle's broken. The sky is falling. Chicken Little, the sky is falling. And it was just lovely to see Andy going live and to be able to just touch base before I'd even made a coffee. Ah, Andy. And then to find out, look, you're not alone. This is a tactic. They've done it to this one. Nilu, Matt, Andy, Kaylee, myself, and who knows who else. And now the opposition, as you might call them, it's not against flesh and blood, we wrestle, is saying, oh, it's happened to us too. We've all been hacked. It must be Jesus. Jesus, I'm not talking Jesus, Yeshua. I'm talking, you know, a good person that goes by that name. And he's the last person that would do that to the good guys anyway, you know. So I don't know if I even believe. I challenge any of the dragons or the others saying that, oh, it's happened to us too. Just do what I've done. Just show some evidence like that. Simple. Bish, bash, bosh. Okay, God bless. Angie Power Disney, Angela Power Disney. So yeah, I don't think my ankle's broken. I think I sprained it. Just pray, you know, for healing. And last week was crazy. The boys were in Portugal and I was dealing with a car breakdown and dogs and coal and just the mechanics of living in Ireland, rural Ireland in the winter with a solid fuel range, you know, and a funky old car and a dog that needs walking, you know. So forgive me if I did do a couple of videos last week, but like, as I say, the first one I kept unlisted just between a few trusted friends. I'm now going to release that, and I'm going to release the follow-up where in the end, the person that's supposedly repenting of Satanism and trying to get me to diss Heather ends up saying, oh, I just fed you a pack of lies. You know, they were trying to prompt me to do a video saying, this is the truth. I've got the inside track on Heather, Shiva, and Karen. But as learned the hard way, I said, I don't put something out as fact without at least 2 witnesses and some evidence, preferably, you know, but certainly not on the, you know, on the basis of one anonymous, no avatar, no friends interaction in Messenger. So they were saying, oh, well, just take my word for it, you know, and it's like, oh, it's true, it's true. And I didn't make a video. I made a video, evidence video, and just shared it with some people that can do some tracking. You know, but it ended up with this person saying, oh, I just fed you a pack of lies. This is what you do. Go away, go away. I didn't approach you. You came to me saying, stand by, Angela, intel drop. Anyway, God bless people. Have a good day and pray the you know, Jesus doesn't need you to pray fancy prayers, but praying scripture is very powerful. Demons hate that. So just counteract the fact that it's a dark few days in the Satanic calendar where real children are sacrificed, where real animals are sacrificed, and real dark people participate in bestiality and child rape and sacrifice and witchcraft. So keep yourselves prayed up. And if you don't know scriptures and you don't know how to access that, you know, Jesus hears the simplest of prayers. So I just encourage you, you know, he meets us where we are. So if all you know to pray, which is all I know to pray sometimes, is help. Jesus, my chair needs fixing. Jesus, help. He hears that too. So God bless people. Have a great day. It's beautiful. It's the kind of weather that makes me want to go horse riding. I really miss my horses in spring and autumn. God bless.